Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's taste.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast all you baby geniuses listen to. This week, our cast is guided by spirits. The news is spliced. And as always, my name is Hassel.
My name is Troy.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Joe.
Before we get started, a friendly reminder to hit that like button, give us a follow, and check out our social media. This week's homework, leave us a podcast review on Apple, Google, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Reviews help us reach more amazing folks and make more amazing content.
Yeah, and also, Amanda, you and I got to be in I Forgot I Own That podcast, and that's going to be debuting on October 25th. So make sure you check them out also on Instagram and Twitter. Like them. They're an awesome couple, really positive vibes. And we may mention this again a little later.
Give them a review, hit likes, subscribe.
Indeed.
What up, y'all?
What up?
Hey.
Hassel.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty
It's
good.
so
How are
weird
you?
being on the other side of this.
Isn't it?
Yeah, you're in the driving seat today. Driver's seat.
This is entirely too much power. This is too much responsibility. I don't do well with a lot of responsibilities.
You gotta drive safely because we're not wearing our seatbelts.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, God.
Why aren't there seatbelts in this car?
Because we're on a dining room table.
Ah.
I'll install them next week.
Should have thought about that before taking it out on the road. It's a table.
That's my next DIY project. I'm actually building a car out of a dining room table.
Ooh.
Goodness.
Being a homeowner is crazy, man.
Right? It's insane.
The stuff they don't tell you.
You're like, I could do it. It's like that when you come to a realization when you're an adult, like, I could eat ice cream for breakfast.
Yeah.
I can do what I want. I'm a homeowner.
I don't need a car and a dining room table. We never eat in the dining room.
How does it
Just
work?
eat in my car.
I can do 10 meals per hour.
And if it's Little Caesars, you can do how many?
Oh, like
Oh,
8.
God.
Oh, okay. Because they have a shelf life, right?
Question,
There's no
am I
fridge in there.
breathing or not?
Wait.
While I'm doing it,
But
not
wait,
afterwards.
Does it have 4-meal drive?
Oh,
A joke so nice, we
well,
did it
that's
twice.
been the podcast.
Don't make him pull this table over.
We're going for a table car pun there.
Yeah, I'm running on empty.
There you go. Running out of
There you
gas.
go. Saved
Running
it.
empty.
Nailed
Taste of
it.
Dragons, table of 4.
Yeah. Joe, you're gonna cut all that out, right?
Nope. Not even a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what, guys? As always, we like to start with a question here. So we're going to start with a question. This one was submitted by Gembeeb. Thank you, Gembeeb. Gembeeb wants to know, what video game superpower would you like to have?
Ooh.
Let's see.
Mine's kind of lame, but it's the first thing that came to mind and is absolutely true. I want the mini map in my life. I really like maps. I'm really good with maps. Every time I play a game and it has a mini map, I'm very mini map focused. And I just think that just having that constantly in like the upper right hand corner of my life would be great. Like objective here, and it's like I get anxious if I don't know where I'm going or if I don't know where I am. So just like I know it's on my phone. Like I get that.
We do have a map.
But like sometimes Google doesn't know where you're at. Sometimes you're on 6th Street and it thinks you're on 3rd Street, or like sometimes you're in an airport, and just all times.
What I like
Tell me
about
where I is.
what I like about those video game maps is there's like maybe like 2 or 3 things that you have to do, and then it'll very clearly tell you where to go to do it. And then when you get there, it'll even tell you like how to do it.
What if it puts creepy men as little red dots, and then I can go like, not down that road, turn
Left,
this
right,
way.
left again.
That's
So-
amazing.
So mini map.
I like it.
Get a mini map. I know I'm down with the whole get to replay a level aspect. I mean, I think like in Mario, like if you fall like off a cliff or something, you just like reappear. I think maybe that's what I want. Just like the multiple lives do-over button. So that if I'm doing a thing and then I completely mess it up, I can just be like,
And you die.
Wait,
well, okay, it's not necessarily dying.
I was
It may
gonna
be
say,
defeating.
you say that like you're in life-threatening situations constantly.
Oh no! I mean like things like I don't know. I messed up some cooking, or I burnt the tofu, and then it's just like nope. Let me get a retry on that. Let me do that over. I want the do-overs.
We'll play that Wednesday night dinner level again.
Yes.
Oh, can you imagine that if you had that for like arguments?
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, and
be
I don't
so
like your
amazing.
mother-in-law. Oh gosh.
Wait, your mother-in-law is my mom.
Exactly. That's why I have to redo it.
and then you just realize it's just an impossible level and you can never win.
Now you realize that by arguing, you've already lost.
Yeah.
That's
You just try to skip that level. You just try to.
I'm trying to fast forward through it. What about you,
Exactly.
Brian?
Oh, for me, oh man, there's so many ones I could choose, but I think I'm going to go with quick travel. I want to go with quick travel, so it'll still take the same amount of hours. Like, you know, if I want to go from like here to Japan, it's still like going to take 17 hours. But I just wake up, or you know, I just blink, and I'm just already in like the Japanese airport.
You just
So I'm
want
gonna be
drugs.
honest with you.
Yes.
I thought you said quick drop, and I was like, Brian, that's called littering. You can already do that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But no, that's what I would like. I would like just quick travel.
I also, to add on to yours, I like the idea that you're instantly there. Also, you haven't gone through customs or the airport or like
Exactly.
all
Right.
of that. You just like circumvented. You just
Exactly.
teleport. The time has passed.
Yes.
I don't know what happens to you between there and now, but you appear
No
and
one
then
knows.
yeah.
Also,
are
what
you-
if you didn't even know like what your mode of travel was? Like
Yeah.
that'd be kind of cool. So like you
Yeah.
wake up in Japan, but it's like 38 years later because you decided
Oh,
to take like a
gosh.
canoe.
That's a big.
Well, I
that's
don't
a
want it
big
to be
ask.
random.
No, it's got to be instant, right?
Yeah. No, not
Like, well,
instant.
I mean, time won't pass.
Time will
time's
pass.
gonna pass.
Time will pass.
If it takes
Goodness.
7 hours, it takes 7 hours. But you're just not.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm being reasonable with my ask.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm not
I'm saying
being
we're,
like.
we're uploading Brian's consciousness,
Okay.
transferring it to
The
Japan,
body.
downloading it.
Okay.
Right.
In most video games, you can fast travel to places you've already been. Is that the rules you're going for, Brian, or is it just anywhere, even if you haven't been there?
You know, I'll go with that limitation as well. Places
Okay.
I've already been.
You have to have been there
Good. I
first,
like that.
and then you can.
Yeah,
do it.
because I still need the experience of getting there once.
Right.
And then then after that, it's it's just it is what it is.
What if you get
Okay.
Skyrim rules and you can fast travel to like major cities, but you have to get to like local checkpoints?
I will take whatever it gives
right,
me.
all right.
Whatever it wants to give me, I will take. But not Hassel's portion of it. I don't need that in my life.
You wake up. Oh, where are my family and friends? Oh no, Captain America style.
You've been gone for 40 years.
We always said you reminded us of Steve Rogers.
At
the
that
thing
point,
is-
everybody's just reacting to you like the Animal Crossing villagers when you leave the game for like 8 months. They're like, we thought you were dead.
But the thing is, because time also passes, I'm also old. So I just lost everything.
You're right. This is not the Captain America.
Oh, Brian, robots don't age.
Oh yeah, Brian, you're a robot.
true.
Come on, you almost got us there. You almost
I almost
got
had
us.
you. I almost had you.
Making us think you're a human. Goodness, what a robot thing to do.
What about you, Joe?
I would like the ability to have the Assassin's Creed vision, where when you pulse, I can and the things that I actually need
Oh my
or I'm
gosh.
looking for are a different color.
I take it back. I want Joe's power.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
want
You
to be able
need
to.
Joe's power.
Right? Like, oh no, I wonder what I did with that one book I wanted to read. And then like, wah, and the colors change. And then like everything is in grayscale except for the one book that I'm looking for. It's always just the thing that I'm looking
cool.
for. So then I don't have to find it. Like I go in the garage and I'm like, oh man, I wonder where that box that I needed that thing out of. Wah, and then like, boom, there's the box.
Never lose your keys ever again.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Although
that'd be
it's
so
going to be like
amazing.
it might be a huge disappointment though if like you use it and then your spouse just never lights up and it's like,
Oh my gosh.
Gosh,
Oh,
wow.
damn,
Hey,
Brian.
listen, this is where I go, okay? This
Whoa.
is where I go.
You would always be lit up for me.
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, likewise.
I
Yes,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh.
I like that Brian somehow like almost made us believe that he was human, and then he had to overcorrect.
Right? It's those robots. I don't know why I love robots. I just do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is how the
So I
logic
have a
works,
question
all
for
right?
Joe though. Like, so in your like, does treasure also like pop up in your
Yes.
power?
Yeah, oh yeah, XP, anything that would have lit up a different color, like literally, like think of Assassin's Creed. There'd be like little red boxes, there'll be little gold things, there'll be like
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff that's lit up. And whether I can get to it or not, that's a different story, because that's also part of the problem. Is it like, what if the little gold box is like, halfway around the world and I all of a sudden can see it somehow? I don't know.
I would just be afraid of chasing treasure and then like finding out it's just like 5 cents on the ground, and you're like, oh,
Worth it.
But I feel like I'd take it.
What if you were in a plaza and then you ping it and then it highlights just the really good restaurants? You're like, oh, that one's good. Oh, that one's more gold than they're usually gold.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What if you're looking for a job and only the ones that are actually, worth
Hiring.
going to are ones that light up? Like, that's where I'm going
Right?
to. Like,
It's-
I'm kind of looking for a job, and then like,
Oh my-
ding, ding,
That's
Guys,
the
this is
XP
it.
boost
This is
on
like
the-
the
no.
ultimate power.
I'm in.
It
I'm
is.
in.
It is.
So me.
The Olive Garden would always be blinking at me.
I am so sorry for you. For me, it would be like the opposite. It would be like that dark spot of the map that doesn't exist. Like, you don't go to that area.
Yeah.
It's the elephant graveyard.
It's
Of
the pit of
Joe's
despair.
We have discussed in a horror movie that you're the person to check the dark noise in the
Oh,
basement.
absolutely. I did it in real life. It's not smart. I'm either the first to die
Seriously?
or the first to die with. Yeah, I've
did.
done it in real life.
She actually texted me, "Hey, I did the thing in the horror movie just now. I feel real stupid." She was literally downstairs, just like, "Yeah,
Okay, wait.
I
Just
did the
heard,
dumb thing.
I heard a weird noise in the basement.
okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. I had just gotten out of the shower. I put a towel on.
Yes.
And the dog is downstairs, and the dog starts freaking out and barking. It is completely pitch black everywhere but the bathroom. So I grab the towel, tuck the thing in real fast, and then run downstairs as fast as I can. No lights, nothing.
my.
Looking for where the dog is, who is normally just sitting outside or sitting in the room I'm in. So as I was going down the stairs, I was like, oh man, this actually happens in real life. People actually get out of the shower, not clothed appropriately, and run down the stairs, not knowing what's downstairs making the noise. If this was a horror movie, and then I immediately also thought, like, I have bats everywhere. It's just fine. But, like,
You still did it,
I
though.
still did it. I got downstairs, found the dog. She was just barking at nothing.
Wait,
And I
did you
was-
grab a bat? Like,
No,
No?
because there was not a
See?
murderer in
Again.
the house.
you
There was
prepared for
nobody.
this moment. There were
Okay,
bats
look,
everywhere.
look,
It's
I
like the end of
prepared,
Signs, but with bats
But
everywhere
that's
instead
if
of
there
water.
was someone there, I would have reached for a bat of some sort.
Okay,
I mean,
right.
like, you know,
Right.
there's stuff everywhere I could have thrown at somebody. So, like, I have a lot of heavy books, okay? It's going to hurt when I hit somebody. So, like, I find the dog, everything's fine. And then I text Brandon, like, it happens. Horror movie stuff happens. I cannot believe how stupid I feel. I am downstairs in a towel coddling the dog because she was freaking out about nothing. And I'm texting you, telling you, if I die in a horror movie, this is it. These things happen.
I deserve it.
I deserve it. I went downstairs. This is my
God.
fault.
Oh, God, that's so good. For me, I've been wrestling with this question a little bit because I really want to have Kirby's powers.
Sure.
Okay.
The floating, not the sucking, mostly.
Oh, I
Wait,
thought
you
it
eat
was
all
like,
the things.
oh no, I was very much like, you're gonna eat people and then
Yeah.
look
Okay.
like those people.
Okay, it wasn't
their
about the
powers.
people.
Shoot
I was not there. I was thinking you would eat everything and then it would be just cute still.
Okay.
But instead, I think what I want to do is I want to have the fast forward life button for The Sims. So like if I'm at work and it's like a really dull day at work, I just want to fast forward through it.
Yeah.
Like I still live it, but it's just like at like 2 times the speed.
Some conversations, you're just like, and it's done.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, you'd be able to get so much reading done. I mean, well, time isn't really passing. It's just feels like it's going. Everything's going faster.
Yeah.
So you're not gaining any time from it. It just feels like less time.
Right.
Hey Estelle,
Gotcha.
what if I told you your entire life has already been in fast forward,
What?
and you just stopped right now? Oh, you wouldn't even know if that's right or not.
Time is relative.
Someone should make a movie about this.
Guys, why do
Wait,
we
what
listen to
movie
the
is that?
robot? Why do we allow the robot to make things worse?
Listen, I've actually thought about this before. Okay, I've actually had thoughts about this in the shower. And
Right
time
before running downstairs to go
Did
check
you
out
run
weird
downstairs
noises.
because the dog was
No,
barking?
because seriously, what if time travel actually is real? Like, hey, listen, I want to time travel to tomorrow.
Yeah.
But when you time travel, you actually still have your memories.
Right.
Right.
But when it's tomorrow, how will you have known if you've time traveled or not? Because you still have your memories of you living it.
Right.
Right. If it's implemented,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know.
You would never know.
So it wouldn't.
Oh man.
But
Matter,
you
I
have
guess.
to actually choose to time travel.
Yeah, you would have the decision
Like, so
of
why
having
don't you
time
have the
travel.
memory
But
of
what if you
choosing
just-
to time travel?
Yeah, but like I'm in the shower. I'm just like, all right, I would like to time travel to tomorrow, like
Right.
this time
Okay.
right now.
Yes.
And then tomorrow at that time right now, I go, oh, I wonder if I time traveled or not. I would never know because I still have my memories.
If you decided
But,
to
like-
give yourself the exact memories.
Okay,
that
so you have the
as if you had
superpower of time
lived.
travel, not like a machine.
Sure.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what has to happen because if you have like a thing that time travels, like you're in the shower and you're like, I wonder what it would be like tomorrow,
we're-
and you have to
we're-
like click a button so at least you know
are you
I
time-
clicked the button.
Are you time traveling in real time? Because I think
We
that's
all are,
just
babe.
living.
Hell yeah.
Technically, aren't we
we
all
all time
doing that?
travelers?
But how do you know it didn't actually work though? If
But
you still have your memories.
If my goal is to travel through time at the speed of time, I think I'm always being
So
successful.
I think you need like a memory manipulator then, or an unmanipulator in your scenario, so that you don't have the memories of that time passing.
Exactly.
Or if you do, you have the memory that you did it.
Yeah.
Okay, remember
You
when
never
I
know.
said that you would always be lit up if I used my Assassin's Creed power?
Do machines not work?
I don't, I'm thinking right now, I went back in time and Prince of Persia myself instead.
Oh, so now you want? I was gonna say now you want choice superpower.
Right.
That's my power.
Superpower instead.
Get that-
I'd like to go backwards a little.
Get that rewind button.
and then you would have Manda's superpower, and that way the mini map I would never light up. You could just you would just go the opposite
Actually,
way.
I was thinking Manda's power is kind of the same as mine because the mini map would have all the cool things on it.
It was,
So, like,
sure.
I
Right.
was like, that's genius. I love mini maps.
True.
Also, just quick footnote. No one said infinite inventory, and also I would like to just put that in the ether.
That'd be
Ooh,
great.
that's a
but then I
really
have to
good-
manage it. Ugh.
Not really if it's infinite. You just keep picking
If
things up.
it managed it
Collecting.
for you, there's that sort all button
Yeah.
in games.
Oh,
That would be great.
You
Yeah.
guys press that button?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Really?
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I've ever pressed that button
Sort
because I'm
things
afraid of what it will
alphabetically,
do.
Sort things into
Oh.
categories.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
It is.
Also, side note, no one mentioned unlimited ammo.
I have
Nah,
no
I'm
interest
not
in
shooting
shooting
things.
things.
We live in
What am I
America.
doing?
We already have that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a superpower.
We're just Americans.
Yeah, that's.
Or I'm
yeah.
sorry, no, that is
Womp
a superpower.
womp.
An American superpower. Because that's
It's
what
all right,
we
guys.
are.
Joe's gonna edit that out. We're good.
I'm not.
Not
You know what?
happening.
The robot. Everyone needs to know.
Guys, I'm never hosting again. Well, thank you guys so much for diving into that question for
And
me.
thank you,
Jembe,
Jembe.
for submitting
Yeah.
that question. If you'd like to
Yeah.
submit a question, head on over to our Discord, chat it up with us, follow us. We are very active on there, and let us know. Let us know what you would like us to dive into. What would you like us to answer? But let's get started. So I know that a couple of us started playing this game over the past couple of weeks. So hey y'all, I'm gonna ask, what are you guys playing?
Oh, thank you for asking. This week, I think 3 of us played this game, right? It's
did.
Kana and the Bridge of Spirits, a September released game, about a month ago or so.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome third-person adventure. Really into exploration and character development, story-driven, and just gosh darn beautiful. So we're gonna talk about this a little bit and break it up. Joe, you looked up some production stuff. How did this game kind of come about? What is it?
So the game is made by Ember Labs, and they were created back in 2009. There's only about 15 people that work in this. It was an animation studio.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not hard.
That makes
to,
sense.
Yep.
That game looks like a living, just like an animated
It does.
film I would watch.
It does.
Yeah.
The brothers Mike and Josh Greer are the ones that created the company, and it is one of the few video game studios that's actually a Black-owned creators.
Oh,
It's really cool, yeah. So they do a lot of digital content. They're an animation studio and now a video game studio as well. And they were the ones, if you had watched it many moons ago, it was the Majora's Mask fan film. It is
Yes.
one of the only fan films that Nintendo has actually put their seal of approval on and being fans
Wait a
of.
second.
Yes.
It's got the Nintendo seal of approval.
Yep. So
Dang,
it's
'cause-
called Terrible Fate.
Okay, that's the name of the. It's a fanfic of Majora's Mask.
It's about how the Skull Kid got his mask and the tragic fate that kind of beheld him.
Gosh, you know you're doing something right if even Nintendo's like, all right, we'll let it pass.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
We're not going to DMCA this.
You
You're
get
fine.
one.
Yeah.
You get one.
Yep.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Yep. At this point, it has 11 million views on YouTube. And if you haven't seen
Wow.
Terrible Fate, I suggest very, very much so. Go watch
It's-
it. It is amazing.
It's about to have 11,000,001.
Right? It's so good. But when they created Kena, they decided they wanted to kind of pay homage to a lot of games that they loved in their past, of which Zelda was a very big piece of their childhood.
see.
And they spent the last, I think it was 6 years working on it.
Woo.
So yeah, it was in every showcase for PlayStation for the last 4 or 5 years. I did not know that, but it was actually. The developers themselves are only in a few different interviews online, and they mention that each time. They're like, I know you guys are waiting for this game, and I know it's been in a lot of showcases, and we just want to show you parts of it. We just don't want it to be put out before it's ready. And so it did get delayed, I think, a few times more in the last year as well. But
Right.
it's out now, and it's amazing.
I mean, you said it was made. It is pretty amazing. You said it was made by 15 people.
15 people. That's it.
Yeah, take as long as you need.
Right?
Right?
So all in all, though, the studio itself is awesome. This is their first video game.
See, that blows me away. It's their first video game.
It does make more sense that they were an animation studio, because I knew going into this that this was the first game that this studio had made, and I was like, that's impossible. This looks so beautiful. There's no way they haven't. But like them being animators is like, okay, the universe still works.
and that's the thing that like caught our attention at first when we saw this game displayed in a showcase last year was just its stunning visuals and how fluid the animation looked, and it really did. It was nothing short of eye-catching, and I had no idea what the gameplay was though.
Yeah, it took
But I
them a
didn't
long
need to,
time to
because I
start
was
talking
just
about
so
the
into
gameplay.
what it looked like.
They purposefully did not show any of the gameplay until, I want to say, last year sometime.
I gotcha. Cool.
Visually, you play as a female main character, which gives them like a plus mark in
Hell
my
yeah.
book. You play as Kena, and she's like a spirit guide. She's helping lost souls find their way back into their adorable houses or away from terrible monsters, with the help of the cutest little soot sprites that ever existed.
Oh my gosh, the biggest eyes.
If you saw a PlayStation showcase and there were small black creatures with gigantic eyes and they absolutely melted your soul, then you were looking at Kena.
It's like, hey, you want to play this game where you're just running around with a lot of little like black Labrador puppies? We got you.
I am actively looking at them right now, and this is, oh my god.
Yeah.
They are so adorable.
They look like a combination of like the soot sprites from the Ghibli films.
Oh, right.
Also like Toothless from How
Yeah.
to Train Your Dragon, and like a kitten with the giant, like
Just
like,
a
it's
kitty.
just-
They're so fuzzy.
yeah, like that's what it looks like to me. And they look amazing.
You can get lots and lots of them, and they all follow you around. And everywhere you go, they're either running behind you or they're like sitting in a cart next to you. They're like very ambient in that they're like constantly in your vicinity.
And- yeah.
And most importantly, while you're playing, you can find and equip tiny hats for them.
Yes.
Individualized hats.
Individual hats. Every sprite can get their own hat. Every
I was-
rot can get
Every
their
rot,
own hat.
yeah.
I was gonna ask about that because the picture I'm specifically looking at is one of them wearing a fisherman's hat,
It's
like
not
a
even
little
the best
bucket
hat.
Yep.
and I was like, okay, did someone Photoshop this? Because this is
No.
a pretty
Nope.
good Photoshop.
they've got party hats. They have like pumpkin hats. They have like little fox heads you can put on.
The animals are
gourds.
the best.
Oh, like little leaves,
Mushrooms.
a little bow, mushrooms. It's the cutest thing, and it's all very colorful. So like the rots, they are very black and colorless. So these hats really pop on them, and it's really cool.
All the human characters have these gorgeous masks. One of the themes of the game is like the dead passing on to the afterlife, and when you
Right.
die, they give you this mask, and like the decay of the mask like symbolizes your departure of this world into the next world. And they're all absolutely beautiful, and Joe and I both want them on our walls.
Yes.
But you can get little versions of them for the rots, and it's so cute.
Like little chibi versions.
The chibi tiny
It's
one.
like you have those like popped like
Pop figures.
those pop figures, except they're alive and they're cuter, and they run around and they're fuzzy.
And one of my favorite aspects of that, because I was watching Joe play it, but I wasn't like actively watching her playing it. So I was
Right.
like turning around every now and then. And the thing I loved is that there's 100 of them in the game, right?
Yes.
But as you find them, they start gathering around you.
I know.
Yeah.
So the more that you find, the more that there is. And I remember I turned around once. I was like, oh my God. And there was like 75 of them. And I was like, what?
It goes from being like a scenario where there's like these cute little ducklings that are kind of following you around. There's like 15 of them. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's precious. And then as the game goes on, there's like hundreds, or there's like, like tens and tens. There's like 60 or 80. And then you look around, they're all just staring at you with those big eyes. And you're like, I've started a cult. I don't know if this is healthy for all of us, y'all. Do not look at me that way.
So artistically, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a strong female main character that's beautifully animated and her army of tiny little minions. And then when it comes to gameplay, it is a complete departure from that.
Yep.
Because while the animation is still beautiful, like you can do like jump, slam on the ground, attack, flip, roll, shield, stab, and bow stuff that looks amazing. It's hard. It is not like a Legend of Zelda game. You're not going to go in there and be like, oh, I'll just shoot the red glowing thing on the monster 3 times and be done. No, this game is, they want you to think and they want you to die.
A lot.
Like it was a weird balance for me, because one of my favorite parts of this game was the art, as you mentioned, and just the lush environments, how beautiful it was, and the story was just so incredible. And then the gameplay was so difficult that I guess, I don't know if they're going for like a yin yang thing where it's like, hey, there's these really beautiful things and like a really like dark underside, so it balances it out. But there were definitely moments in that game where I was just like, oh, this is too hard.
I think that the combat is like the game. So in the story, there's a corruption happening in the land, and you're trying to help these spirits who had died. And you're helping them with their masks. You're helping them with all these other things around. I think the combat is like the story. It decays everything when you're doing it. Because I played it on the second highest difficulty there was.
Okay.
And I can honestly say I kind of wish I hadn't, because I think I would have liked some of it more had the bosses not been ridiculously hard compared to the rest of the game. And I feel like that decay is almost like what was happening in the game to my brain.
Oh no.
She was just evolving as she was playing.
I was.
You become one of the rots.
I was
just like
I was corroded on the inside by the end when I was doing the actual final boss, and I was like, I hate this. I hate
this is so
everything
tough.
about this. I'm so tired of
my
this.
brain.
It was a really strange juxtaposition between like, I am fighting and this is really difficult and I've died 6 times and I can't even get hit once because he's got this one shield move, and if I don't block at the exact moment, then I have to start all over. And like, do you want to get a third frog hat? Because like, I think or we have enough money, we can get another deer hat if we really want. And like, just having both of those moments, like constantly I was like, what is this game? Like, what am I doing?
First off, yes, you always get the third frog hat. I have an
Always.
entire row of rots wearing that frog hat. So it's never enough frog hats.
I feel like the rots are players who have beat this game before. So when at the very end you're just like, hey, you want a frog hat? You just put it on them.
This will make you feel better.
Oh, this is great. Thank
It
you
did
so
make
much.
me feel better.
It is impossible to play this game without having like baby rot voices. It's like, look at me, I don't want no frog hat. Look how cute I am. I'm going wild over here. I'm going to sit on this card. I hope that's okay.
Amanda and I did this thing because the way you acquire more rots is you find them in the environment. They're hiding under pots or like inside of pumpkins in just really cute ways. Every single time, without fail, that Amanda or I found one of these new rots, we instantly would explain why we're there from its perspective. So like if we like open up a pot and there's like a rot in there, we would go like,
I'm like, oh, sorry, I got caught in here. I wanted to do it now. And then a little close and feel really frightened, but thank you for finding me.
or it's like a rot up in a tree. It's like, oh God, I don't know how I got up here. It's just really high once I did. So I just stayed. Thanks for coming down though. Can I get a ride? Like, all 100 of these rots, we had a little inner monologue every time we found it. It was adorable. It was adorable.
So essentially, you were just Ubering them around.
They are so cute. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the game, but the rots are very important to the story. I know we've already talked about some hats you're going to find along the way, but we are going to try to keep away from main story spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the hats are the most important aspect of the game.
I didn't talk about the best hats. I mean, frog hat aside. Frog
frog hat
away.
aside. Yeah, that was my bad.
pretty
I
epic.
probably should have let that one not be spoiled. But I mean, like, frog hat's so good.
So good. So Amanda and I came up to an interesting foray as well. Joe, we started on the second second to hardest difficulty as we were going out. And Maine and I were joint playing this, which I don't think we've done that with this type of game. We've played co-op games before, but this is a single player game that we were like passing playing between each other. And we got through like the first main boss, and it was, like you said, freaking hard. It was puzzly. We died multiple times. We probably had it a little easier because we were passing it to the next person, so it was never like too frustrating. I could like take a break and breathe, go smoke. I don't smoke, but it feels like I should have.
We were drinking. But.
yeah, we were also getting pretty drunk. That probably helped. Probably could have beaten it easier if we didn't. Anyway. And then after we beat that boss, we like the next enemy we came across, just a random nonsense enemy that was also hard. We kind of looked at each other and we were like, we're not here for this. We got to bump this down.
They just put the mini bosses in the world after you beat them, and some of them are like really difficult. Like if they hit you twice, you die. You like genuinely like dead. And we got to like the first one of like the mini bosses in the real world. It was like the second zone, and we were like, no, we're just gonna play on story mode. I'm not for this.
Because I love the story so much, and the environment, the lush greens, the jungle, the waterfalls, the ice caps are so well done. Even the puzzle platforming is really cool with sliding and making platforms, and it's all really, really nice, and slingshotting around the environment is so fun that the combat was something that we were just getting frustrated with. So we ended up bumping it down. And then after that, we were on normal. We went until we came up to another boss that was just like, we're not here for this. I think it was one in like the lighthouse or something. And then we were like, no, we're just going to take this down all the way. And then we took it, to literally a story mode. And they even say it. They're like, hey, do you just want to do the story? Do you like not want to deal with fighting things? And we're like,
Yup.
So I have a question about that. And I know that this is a bigger topic about, you know, game difficulty and stuff like that. And we're probably going to tackle that on a future episode. But in regards to Kena Bridge of Spirits, would you say that your experience playing the game was better, or how was it different from playing it on a different like difficulty? Like, do you think that you had a better time, or do you think that you like it kind of like defeated the point of playing the game?
I think for Joe, experiencing it in the house,
or for yourself experiencing
Joe's
your
self-experience.
perspective.
Yeah, but from my perspective,
in a house with Joe.
I think she would have benefited from lowering the difficulty, only because she was there for the story, and also for our controller's sake. It would have also been no. She actually didn't throw it.
Look. I had a lot of really cruddy glitches happen.
She did.
And I would have beaten things much, much faster if the game didn't decide to game break itself and freak out and shut my PlayStation off. Okay?
Yikes.
Multiple times I had something that broke the game happen while I was fighting a boss. It didn't happen outside of that. It only happened in the more difficult moments in the game, which I imagine is because I was pressing more buttons. I couldn't tell you.
Just overloading it.
Right. Yeah, but there were so I do agree I probably should have just dropped the difficulty down, but I don't do that.
I know you don't.
I choose and I
fair.
stick with it.
There's no should.
There's
Yeah.
no right. There's nothing wrong.
there's no
nothing
right or
with
wrong
that.
here.
I just can't do it. I don't know why. I just can't do it.
Hey, I didn't know that this was a freshman effort when it came to the game. And it made sense when you explained it to me, because I had a lot of problems with the parry system, because I love parrying games. I like to think I'm rather good at it. But in this game, I could just not get it. And I was like, what am I doing wrong or right? And it got to the point where I was like, it doesn't feel right, because it's not an entirely polished game. And in a way, it's almost incredible that it's as polished as it is. But on the other end, I had to also kind of think to myself, like, okay, I'm not going to get that experience that I think I want. But here the developers did put in like a way out.
Yeah. I think that was actually very smart of them, because I really, no matter what I say going forward, I did like the game. I think the game is a very good game, especially for an indie studio.
Yeah.
Who this is their first game out. It blends a ton of different genres, and it tried to make it hard for people like me who like games to be kind of hard.
Right.
I just feel like the game mechanic itself for the combat was not polished enough to be as hard as it was.
They probably shouldn't have even offered that that type of difficulty.
Right. That should have just not been there if they wanted people to just enjoy the story, because I do think the story is so freaking good that everyone should play it. It's a great game. It's visually appealing. Everything about it was fun, except for the fight mechanic, except for the battling mechanic that was not just glitchy as all heck for me. I had nothing but problem. And I played it on a PlayStation 5, which is what it was supposedly made for. And it wasn't supposed to have these problems. And I heard people who played it on the PC had even worse problems.
That's so weird because we had no problems. We had nothing happen. That's the nature of glitches.
That's glitches.
It's just
That's
like,
what it is.
Yeah.
And I guess end of the day, if you looked at this and you were like, man, I want to play a Zelda-like game with a really interesting story and beautiful art and characters, just play on story mode. But if you want to go in here and like, oh, I want something that's a little more of a challenge, and I'm okay to know that this is like the first effort from the studio, then like play it on normal, play it on hard. But know that however you play it.
Right.
It's
It's
And
cool.
if you like to play a game where you don't like to do a lot of backtracking, just have Manda come over and do it for you, because that's what happened with us. I was like, babe, I can't do this. And she's like, I got you. She did all this game, all that stuff for me.
The world's really big, though. Like,
Yeah.
I do think that that's something that a lot of people who look at the problem, I think one of the main problems is it looks so good that people don't realize that it's an indie studio. It's their first outing. And I think that's the world's so freaking big that it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do.
So I learned something cool about the music and the score of Kena. Apparently, the creators, they started making this story starring a main character from an Asian origin, and they kind of combined a few different influences. But the music, they were going specifically for like a Bali influence.
Okay.
And they were kind of thinking of this group who's known as Gamelan Kudamani, which is a Balinese group, and they made music like that. And like you said, they were just a lower studio. They didn't do a lot of things. But as people saw their animation, a lot of steam started picking up to the point where someone was like, well, why didn't you just get those actual people? and he was like, oh, you think they would say yes? And so they like contacted this group. And this is not just like an orchestra or a group. This is a village. This is a whole culture. Like, this is like,
So cool.
if you grow up there, you are part of this musical ensemble, and they do all types of performance art, but it's not just the music. It's a very like sacred force of their culture.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling. It's a way of life.
Yeah.
They even tend to say that their vitality comes from the arts. And that's what goes into their music. So he was very much like, okay, well, I guess we can ask them. And they said no.
You built this up, and then you
I was
just
like, did I get to hear that music? I feel so honored. I was like, that sounds
Wait.
amazing.
Okay.
They were concerned about their music being used for like a video game.
Okay.
They were concerned that it would come off as trite. It wouldn't be taken it as serious.
Right.
Okay.
But then the creator showed them the story and the animation and talked to them about the themes of their games and of this game. And this village was like, oh, you get it. Oh, you get it. Yeah, let's do this. And they ended up actually collaborating with them and then creating the entire score for Kena, which is just beautiful and fantastic. What's even cuter is that one of the members of this group, because as they started developing it and they added voice acting, and they were like, well, who's going to voice Kena with this influence? And then someone was like, well, my daughter's kind of of the right age. And then, so actually the voice of Kena is one of the daughters of someone in this musical group, which
That's
is
so awesome.
fantastic. And they nailed it.
I was
which
about to say
is beautiful.
that's
Yeah.
amazing considering like. I mean, that's also. I'm assuming that's their freshman.
I don't know.
Well?
I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I
But
think they
even
may have
then,
already
like,
been in
for
it.
somebody who's that age,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
voice was actually
The voice
pretty
acting
well
was
done.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And obviously, if you haven't heard the music's great. The music's actually
Yes.
perfect for the game, and it's beautiful and unique. And
it's breathtaking. Go check it out on YouTube. The whole soundtrack is amazing, and it ties with the game and the themes and all everything. It's just spirit and moving forward and life and death. It's remarkable. So it was really cool to see him take such a special touch with the culture of the nature of their work that they're putting out there.
That's amazing. I love that. I was looking, so while you guys were talking about it, I was actually looking up the game a little more because I'm very interested in it. And as someone who's been looking for a new RPG game, this sounds like it's right up my alley.
Right,
But
it's not
so,
really-
so I want to know on the sandwich meter, what are we looking at for Kena Bridge of Spirits? Also, what kind of sandwich is this?
after what Troy just said, I feel like it would be a travesty for this to not be 5 out of 5 sandwiches.
For you,
I don't
yeah.
think that I could leave that wonderful, beautiful description of like the spirit of a culture. Okay, let me say this: the music, 5 out of 5 sandwiches.
There you go.
Boom.
The
Okay.
art
Yeah. All right.
and animation, 5 out of 5 sandwiches.
Yes.
The gameplay
Could be tighter.
could be tighter. Could be tighter. It's like 3 out of 5 sandwiches.
Okay. So what is your overall rating then?
4.59 sandwiches.
Yeah, I'm at a solid 4 out of 5 for me. For all the reasons you said, and I think that 1.5 is just I just wanted the combat, since it's such a combat heavy game, to be a little more responsive to what I was doing. So that would be my only thing, but it's a strong 4 out of 5 for me.
Okay, so hear me out.
We're here.
This game is a blending of genres. It is an homage to many things that I love in so many other games. So I feel like it has to be like a classic PB&J because it feels like home. It feels like everything that you could want. It feels like just good, awesome. And then you remember that I hate jam. Like I hate it. So like for me, I now have to rip half the sandwich off, and I've lost half of the bread. I've lost the jam part, which is a blessing in disguise for myself, but there's still little bits of jam on my peanut butter now that I've folded in half, and I still have to deal with it, and I don't like it.
Is it all jams or like?
No, there's peanut butter. Yeah, I don't do preserves of any kind. I don't like jam.
Oh, okay.
It's a consistency thing. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they taste amazing. I have no ill will towards those who like jam. Congratulations. If we have sandwiches together, you can have the half of my sandwich that has the jam on it. I don't want it. But that's kind of how this is for me. This is a beautiful, wonderful sandwich. And in pictures, you'd be like, ooh, I would eat that sandwich.
Yeah.
I, however, would rip the half of it off that has the jam and then step on it.
I mean, Man and I, we did the same thing, but we kind of just gently put it to the side. But you can step on it. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
fine.
step on it because, like, it has poisoned my peanut butter.
I want to say that if it was jam, it was jam with like bits of, I want to say mango in it. I
Right.
don't dislike mango. I'm not a huge fan of mango. So we just picked a few mango
Just pick
bits
them
off
off.
and then
Mangoes
ate it.
off.
We were fine.
And it would kill Joe.
It would kill me.
So
Yeah,
Joe
see,
has
yeah.
to get rid of
I
it.
had to get rid of it.
You're allergic to mangoes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, no, don't do
I forgot
that.
about
Right?
that. Wow, you guys are attacking everything I love right now.
It's
Hey,
what
man,
we're
don't
here
worry.
for. This
I'm-
is friendship.
I'm here for mangoes. I'm on the mango
So is
train.
Brian.
It's
And-
okay.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I think this is a solid, like, 4-star game because when you take into account how much love and
Yeah.
affection and caring and culture and everything that went into this game, and for it to be an indie studio, and it is only $40.
Right.
This is not a game I paid $70 to play
Right.
on my PlayStation 5. When you put everything else into it, this is a clear, for me, it's almost a 5.
Yeah.
Like, that's the level of how much I
Yeah.
care about how good this game is. I just hate jam so much that it takes an entire point away.
But we're giving them a 4 because their next game,
It's going to be
after they've
amazing.
had this
The
experience,
excitement of what
Gets
they
me
will
very excited, yeah.
do
yeah.
next.
Yeah. I feel like for me it'd be like it's a PB&J sandwich, but it's crunchy peanut butter instead of smooth. And
yeah.
it's just like, ooh, I just don't like it. I
Yep,
just
my Assassin's
don't like...
Creed vision just went off again, and it's
Yeah, I
not
know.
lit, man.
I know.
What is happening? Did you guys plan this?
What?
Attacking all the things Cecile
Crunchy
holds
peanut butter.
dear.
So you would rather do smooth peanut butter than crunchy?
Of course.
I can go either way.
yeah, I like both of them.
I only
Yeah.
do crunchy.
Oh, Brian, you're going back to being a robot. Like your robot is coming out right now.
The
You can't
peanuts
chew.
get caught in his cogs
gears.
and
Yeah.
chips.
Do you use jam to like oil up your limbs and stuff like that?
I'm imagining how sticky and gross that would be on like
would be.
anything. Ugh. Jam's great.
and you, if you had jam all over you, you would no longer shine on Joe's superpower. So
It's true.
yeah,
Yep.
stay far away.
If
Thank
Joe
you guys so
turns
much
evil,
for.
though, you can use jam to hide yourself from
smart.
her
That's
radar.
True.
That's real
true.
smart.
That's the Arnold Schwarzenegger mud in Predator.
Predator thing.
I would love to be a predator. They're so cool.
You do have predator vision.
Yeah,
That's
it would be
exactly what it
predator
is.
vision. That's so cool.
One of
Oh
your
my gosh.
One of your roommates walks in the kitchen like, oh, Joe and Brian got in an argument again. How can you tell? He's covered in jam.
Just slathering himself. His trunk of his car is just filled with strawberry jam.
I'm just holding up my index finger. Shh. not here.
Just standing up against just the wall covered in jam.
Joe can see him
Crying.
She just pretends not to.
Yeah.
Oh, where did he go?
I just start tapping things on the floor and clicking so he thinks he needs to go grab jam and leave me alone for a while. Full predator.
We have fun. We have fun, guys.
We did have fun.
We have fun. Well, thank you guys so much for diving deep into Kena Bridge of Spirits. It sounds like an amazing game. But you know what? That brings us to our news segment. Brian, you want to take it away?
I do.
Yep. That's fine.
Shockingly, I know. But my news item this week actually is going to be about some speedrunning news. So this is a topic that I really enjoy. I love speedrunning as a community, as everything. Speedrunning's awesome. It's just doing a game as fast as humanly possible, or sometimes as computerly possible. So in this speedrunning news, an 8-year-old world record has been deemed ineligible due to cheating.
Uh-oh.
Well,
It stayed up for 8 years before somebody noticed that there was cheating involved. And this is for a game called Spelunky.
I love that game.
Game is great, and this is for the original classic version of it that came out in 2008, not like the polished Steam version that came out in 2013.
Oh, I don't know which one I played, man.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just letting you know. For people out there who want to look it up. So this is for that. Someone finally noticed that there was a cut in gameplay that should not have been there. And so this world record actually had spliced together footage of different runs.
oh no.
In order to make it look like it was one continuous run.
Oh no.
And they got away with it?
They got away with
8
it
years?
because it's kind of hard. There's no real easy detection to notice whether there's cuts.
Okay.
But what gave it away was one single tile in the game was different.
But wait, isn't this? But I thought Spelunky's a game where every time you start over, everything is different anyway.
It is.
So how would they ever tell this?
Imagine you go from one load screen to another load screen, but the second
Right.
load screen's from a completely different playthrough. But you wouldn't know.
Normally you wouldn't, but in
Yeah.
this version, there is one tile that's out of place that would, I think, continuously be out of place throughout the rest of the run.
No matter how random the game is, even that was too out of place. Or
Exactly.
Too random.
This
Gotcha.
changed from one screen to the next.
Okay.
So that's how somebody was finally able to notice it after 8 years.
Good. Glad they got him.
It's been completely removed from records. That record actually was 2 minutes and 30 seconds was the runtime, which has now been
incredible.
replaced for a new current world record of 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Ooh.
And by the way, the next second place is 3 minutes. So that's how good that is.
How
It's
lucky
crazy.
that run had to be.
Yeah, it was. So congrats out to you, the new first place world record who
Right.
should have been this entire time.
and we hope
former
that you're not
second place.
splicing. Because that's a 20-second gap
That is a
between
20-second
everyone
gap.
else.
But yeah, that was my little bit of news that I had for this week.
Yeah, so I do have a little bit of news to bring to the table if you guys don't
Okay.
mind.
Go for it.
So I know you guys like to hear about sports all the time.
Love
you
it.
guys are all sports people, right?
We are. I mean, I am.
Yeah.
I'm a sports guy.
Are we talking about hockey?
Are we talking about ping pong?
Ping pong is great.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Table tennis.
We're not bougie.
the real
Ping pong's
sports
cool.
people
Oh, I'm
call it
bougie.
table tennis.
Yeah, that's right.
Guys, I'm going to take a nap. I'll be right back. I kid.
You ready, Amanda?
Oh, to take a nap?
No. Okay. So, basically, what's happening is EA has been in talks to renew their licenses for the FIFA game, and they've struck a deal with FIFA Pro, which is the Players Association that handles all of the licensing for the players, for the teams, for the leagues, things like that. However, they have not struck a deal with FIFA yet, which is the official, soccer governing body. FIFA is requesting $1 billion.
Okay, they're Dr. Evil. I mean, they are evil. I mean,
Right, yeah.
they do take bribes all the time. But yeah, that makes sense that they
Yeah,
would ask
that's
for $1 billion.
billion with a B.
Is $1 billion a lot of money, or like I know like $1 million isn't what it used to be.
A billion is a lot of money.
Am I just like imagining as like someone who was born in the 80s as like, oh, it's $1 billion, but it's like business billions now? Do business people just like trade $1 billion bills back and forth? And like
$1 million is nothing anymore. I think $1 million used to be like the biggest, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you know, and that's no longer a thing. But billion? That's so many millions.
Okay. So if we went to an Elon Musk house party, he would be giving away like $1 billion gift bags.
He probably
No,
could. I don't know.
I mean, he might be able to,
Yeah,
but no, he probably still wouldn't.
All right.
I don't think
Right.
he would. But I think the interesting thing is that it's like they doubled their price, right? Because before, I think the license was $500 million, and now they've
Just
raised
about.
it to $1 billion.
What are they holding? The name?
Just the name.
That's
Is that it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know like FIFA is the top selling video game of like the past 10 years.
Branding.
Like, branding. Yeah. Like no doubt the FIFA games have sold incredibly. But is it really just the game, or is it the gameplay? Like what, like Hassel, as you as a player, are you playing for the gameplay or the name?
So, I mean, I'm playing for the game, right? But I do see the problem in which, like, you know, like I've been playing FIFA since 1998. So, like, for the name to change, you're like, what do I go look for in the shelf now? What do
if
I
your
file
grandma
this
goes
under?
to buy FIFA, she's not going to know that the developer that made the game is now making a different game under a different title, and the new FIFA is made by a completely different developer with possibly like different quality in gameplay. She would just go, I bought the FIFA every year, so I'm going to buy another FIFA. I don't know if
but
everyone's going to.
I'm hoping that like the core fan base though of FIFA, no matter what the name is, will follow the developers.
But I guess I'm saying is like you could probably get like the hardcore video game fans, but I think a lot of people just play like games with like a higher, like a broader level of knowledge. So if you're like an 8-year-old who just bought this game, then they're just going to continue to buy it, or someone who's more on a peripheral. Because a lot of people who play FIFA don't play anything else. They're like, I just own
This is
this
my
one.
game.
I don't really play video games, but I play the FIFA.
Right, and it's such a pattern. Like you said, like every year they're just going to get whatever the new FIFA is, regardless of what the game actually is, because that's kind of where they're at right now, anyway.
And I think that's a lot of that's an overgeneralization. I'm sure lots of people will just follow to EA to whatever they make next. But that I get that's what they're selling is the name and the brand.
Yeah.
I mean, like, think about it this way: like, when they go file the next game into the Library of Congress, like, where are they going to file it at? All of the FIFAs are in the F section. Like, you don't know where it's going to go. Like, reportedly, so FIFA has made $20 billion over the last 20 years from EA alone.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And
that's just how much FIFA's making off of it.
Right. That is it's the most successful franchising partnership that FIFA has at the moment.
Okay, so technically it sounds like what EA is doing is betting on themselves. Since they are the developer and they're putting the money out for the game, they pay FIFA for their name. Mm-hmm. They're looking at it like if FIFA wants $1 billion over the next 4 years, that's what the thing is. They're thinking if we stop using FIFA now and start calling it something else, possibly close to that, so that people start recognizing the new thing that they're calling it. It's the same game. Nothing has changed because they're still interacting with the players and still using the players' names.
Okay, that's big.
So, like, they're still doing that aspect of it. EA's probably just betting on themselves for the next 5 to 10 years. That game's not going to sell as well as a FIFA game, unless they can add that branding to it. But if they can start their own branding and then look to the future and go, in 5 to 10 years, I won't be paying someone $1 billion for their name. I have my own name.
Because what's going to stop FIFA after 4 years from being like, all right, now give us $2 billion?
Right.
And if you think about it, EA is really the sports studio. There isn't like another big video game developer that does like a soccer game. So it's not like, oh man, if we don't do it, that other like Microsoft is going to take it. It's like, well, Microsoft doesn't really do that.
Yeah. Like I feel like from EA's perspective, they're like, listen, I don't think we're going to lose, what is it? So it's $250 million a year over 4 years. So it adds up to $1 billion. So that's what, $2 million worth of sales? No, sorry. That's 4 million sales alone of that game goes directly just to FIFA.
Wow.
Right.
I think in their minds, they're like, we don't think we're going to lose 4 million sales every single year for a name change because they're still going to be with EA. So we're still going to save money by not doing this.
And okay, so this happened a while back in a certain way with the NFL, where EA got an exclusive contract with the NFL, and at that time EA was making Madden games, and then there was 2K Sports that was also making games. Now the thing that they could share is that they could use real life players in their games. at that time, 2K was making the better game, the objectively better playing game. EA made that deal with NFL and pretty much said, okay, only we can have your names. So then 2K had to pretty much be like, well, I guess we'll just have to survive on our gameplay alone. And they made it like maybe one more game, and it was still a much better game than Madden. But that alone, not having the NFL on your game, is no longer a thing.
I mean, you gotta
which
look
is a
at it
shame.
like the 2K studios had to transition over to making the NBA game because now they have the licensing for the NBA, so they make NBA 2K. They had to give up on the whole NFL thing because they didn't have the
is
licensing
sad.
anymore.
Because they had the better football game. Damn it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still sore about it.
So
still sore
I
about
wonder
it.
how much this plays into. So there have been rumors. Konami has their own like soccer simulators called eFootball. It's free to play, and the new one that just came out, like the graphics are just, it's a work in progress, I should say.
That's putting it very lightly, yes.
Yeah, this whole thing is happening tied into rumors of the next EA soccer game going free to play. So like I wonder how much of that is playing into this and how much FIFA is going, well, if you're going free to play, then you got to pay us,
We want our money now.
Yeah, we want that revenue that you were bringing in. We want that like guaranteed.
If they're doing that, then I say EA should pay. Honestly, because first of all, they're just getting done to them what they did to others, so that works out. But also, if they're going to take a gamble and change their format to EA to a free to play, then they need that brand to make sure people know that this is the same FIFA that they love. This isn't some weird experimental new thing they're doing.
Yeah.
Combining this with the loot box crisis that they're having, I'm really interested to see what happens moving forward.
This game last year alone made $1.2 billion just in microtransactions.
Yeah.
Which is predatory. I'm just going to say it's
Right,
predatory.
but I'm sure they're definitely dispersing that money very ethically and making sure that their employees are well paid and making sure that everything is bad. I mean, donating to charity.
The best paid, most appreciated employees are always video game
Very
developers.
big buzz.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah.
They get it.
Man, I'm so excited. Every time I host, I'm just gonna bring up sports. It's gonna be great.
It's fine. That's fine.
No, to sell does not. I can't. I talk a lot. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, you guys know how I said that I was gonna also bring up sports again.
I mean,
every
that is what
episode,
you said,
right?
I'm for it.
Yeah.
Someone's got
just
to.
a couple seconds ago. Well,
Yeah,
in
you
more
did.
sports news, EA is removing John Gruden from Madden NFL 22 after racist, misogynistic emails surfaced.
Ooh.
Oh.
I know.
You know what? Good for them.
Who's John?
I'm a sports expert, but for those people out there that aren't sports experts, could you explain who John Gruber is?
Wait.
Yeah.
Is this how you?
He's not in The Witcher, right?
Yeah, Hassel, is this how you feel when we talk about The Witcher?
No, because I know everything about The Witcher.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
he's a pro.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Who's John?
I am a Witcherist.
He studied Witcherology.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
they're wondering who John Crouton is.
John
So-
Crouton. John Gruden. John Gruden is an NFL head coach. Well, used to be an NFL head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
Earlier this week, some racist emails surfaced from him back in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. He was talking about, at the time, the NFL was going to go on a lockout because the NFL players wanted to, like, a rights deal or something like that.
Right.
The NFL was going to go on a lockout, and he emailed as about the NFLPA president and about other people high up in the NFL, and he was not very nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, people need to stop. I mean, people need to stop doing that, period.
Yeah.
Having that mentality, like, it's
And then,
gross.
And then B, why do you leave a paper trail? Like, y'all are rich enough to know not to leave it. I mean, again, don't do this
I
to
don't even
begin
know
with.
if it's that. It's like, don't do it anyway. Don't leave a paper trail. Do they have any idea how at some point someone else is reading that and you are going to hurt a lot of people?
Right.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about that mentality. It's like, no, I can't say this. This is okay.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
of course, if they wouldn't think about a paper trail if they thought it was wrong And that's obviously why they shouldn't be in places of power
yeah.
anymore because, of that. So I'm not surprised that there's any type of paper trail.
This doesn't just like suck for the players, but this also sucks for the people that developed this video game. I was like, I made this and I modeled this guy and I did these voice lines and I put him in here, and then and now you're just a complete droomer, and now I have to edit you out, and that just sucks. That just sucks, all right. I mean, mostly for the misogyny.
But
and
I'm
the
glad
racism,
that
but
people
also,
that aren't hurting people are on covers of things.
Yeah.
and good for them being very responsive and taking him out.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely something that had to be done, right? I think about Benjamin Mendy, who is a soccer player for Manchester City. He is currently sitting in jail. He is being accused with sexual assault, and the minute this happened, he was taken off of FIFA. EA came out and was like, yeah, we are not dealing with this. He is being taken off of the team, the French national team. He's being taken off of his club soccer team. There's going to be no mention of him in the game at all. And I think it's the right thing to do.
Obviously, the sexual harassment is the more important thing here, but that actually brought something to mind that's interesting. It's FIFA, you pay for content. So if I paid for his card, essentially, and then he did something, and then they take him out of the game, does he just become generic man number 4, and I still have his stats? Or do I lose that item?
See, that's a good question. I'm pretty sure you lose the item.
So what happened was, I actually did read about this. What they ended up doing was they let players, I think, choose a equally powerful card.
Okay,
so
that's
they
nice.
got.
Okay.
I think they had a choice of what other cards to pick, that were basically his card.
And there are other real people that they're picking.
Yeah. They're picking other players, but. So
Okay.
you couldn't trade him for Cristiano Ronaldo, which is one of the best players.
You're right.
You couldn't do that, but somebody who was equal power level, you could do that with. So they did give a choice to players, but yes, that does bring up a great question. They are charging for this.
Yeah.
That is an item that you have, and they can just take it away at any time. Is a slippery. I mean, it's
it
what
makes
they have
sense.
to deal with.
They should take him out of the game.
Agreed.
It sends a good message to the thousands of fans, thousands of soccer fans.
Only thousands, Troy. The thousands.
There's
The one stadium full.
Those dozens
Not
of,
even.
of international football fans,
They're
all
actually-
4 or 5 of you.
They're actually all in Cana as the Rots.
I
That's what
see.
they are. Yeah.
the high school field crowd.
That little known game.
It just makes me happy to know that someone who's a fan of that can see that and initially see a negative reaction is saying this is not okay.
Yeah.
And so when they get forward and they go down and they get into this field in this industry of sports, they will know hey, this behavior is not okay. I've seen the direct consequences. Don't participate in it. Don't be around it. Don't promote it.
Right.
So I like that that's going to get into the culture more.
Yeah, it has no place in
absolutely.
our society.
Yeah, especially if you, as a player of the game, don't follow the news.
Yeah.
And then you just log into your game and you go, oh, why are they giving me an option? Why are they remove this player and give me an option? Maybe I'll look it up. And then now they know the story, and now they know why it is. And like Troy said, now they know, hey, this isn't right. This is
don't do
just
that.
not cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a good thing. You guys want more sports news?
Hey, what time is it? Is it?
I think
Is this table about to start moving? When is this? How long have we been parked here? Are we double parked?
Yeah, we stopped at this red light for a while, but I think it's about to
Wait,
turn green.
You guys are home.
What?
Huh?
Oh, are you guys
can't
in your
prove
dining
that.
room car? Is
Yes.
that what's
Yes.
happening?
Yes.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
In other news, Dragon Age 4, soon to be releasing, looks like it's only going to be a next-gen console game.
Okay. All right.
fair enough.
I thought this was going to be a bit, and I was about to be like, I hate you. But then I realized it wasn't a bit, and it took all the steam out of my
Out of her Dragon
I
Age
was
excitement.
really ready to be upset at you mentioning my favorite game with no news. But now that there actually is news, I think that's fine. I think that's actually good.
Realistic.
I would prefer them to make a good game on a single platform than to divide it and have run into that classic problem, i.e., Cyberpunk, where it's it clearly wasn't made for both of
It
these.
diluted the game.
Yeah.
That is a bummer for people. Oh, but it's not, because Dragon Age comes out on PC. So
Right,
EA,
right.
EA sells it on the.
At this point, we're just happy if it comes out in any form. We'll take it.
By the time it comes out, By the time it comes out, everybody will have PS6s, so it'll be released on the previous console. That's what it is.
You step your EA Dragon Age hate back. They have come out at a very reasonable schedule since their induction.
I do have questions. How often do Dragon Age come out?
Not that
I
often.
genuine question.
Yeah.
10 years,
Not
maybe?
that often.
10
Very
years?
often.
Yeah.
Between them?
But it's not like
so
they,
it's like generational. It's fine.
they don't promise a game every year.
Right.
Yeah, this isn't this isn't an Assassin's Creed. Yeah,
No,
this
no.
is. Yeah.
There's no like.
Yeah,
Did
this
they
is-
just add a lot of DLC like yearly or something?
Usually, like the year after the game comes out, they'll be supported for about a year of DLC, I think.
They alternate. They used to alternate Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So every like 2 years, you would get a Dragon Age or a Mass Effect. They're made by the same studio. So now that whole like epoch of Mass Effect is over, then they are more focused on Dragon Age. But they also made Anthem.
Yes.
So,
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
instead
yeah.
of making the Mass Effect, they made it Anthem, and that was woo. We could talk all night about the BioWare problems that they're having currently, but fingers crossed that they won't ruin Dragon Age and it'll be
Yeah.
fine and
It's
everything.
gonna be fine. It's
The
gonna be fine.
corporations will figure themselves out.
It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
We got this. It's gonna be fine.
I hate to be a stick in the mud, but it's pronounced Dragonage.
Oh, correct.
Dragananaga?
That sounds like an amazing mead. Like I would, I wouldn't because I don't drink, but I would drink that mead.
I'll
That,
have your glass. That's fine.
that Dragonage.
Wait, what if it was like Wagyu and you're like Dragonagyu? Ooh.
That is
Okay, wait, Brian. That's a decent question. You have, A5 Maisawa Wagyu in front of you. Are you eating it?
I'm giving it to you.
Good answer. Very good answer.
That's a
You
great
just,
answer. Wow.
At the tail end of the podcast, lit back up.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Blowing
got
gold
it back.
again, baby.
Ryan,
Welcome
It's
to our
official.
daily lives.
Brian, it's official. You can wipe the jam off. You're good.
It is official.
He's like, the clicking
Also,
has stopped. I don't hear it coming anymore.
more clues to why Brian is a robot. He does not need to consume anything. So that's probably why he's giving it to you.
It's true. It's true.
I like the idea of a dessert robot. That's very funny.
Brian, you would be the dessert robot.
I would be the dessert bot.
I exist on cupcakes.
Creme brulee.
There was a dessert robot in this. Oh, okay.
This episode is getting really out of hand. Like, it's getting really away from me.
We were in this hot pot place, right? It was called the X Pot, and it was like this
great.
really ritzy, cool, like hot pot place.
Yeah.
And they had a dessert robot. It was a robot with a little face and like a bunch of like shelves, and it rode itself around the restaurant
my.
and stopped at tables and like made beeping
Did it
sounds.
talk or just beeped?
It just beeped. It didn't come to our table because they ran out of desserts by the time we were ready for our desserts.
no.
But we got to watch the robot go into the kitchen, and we got to watch the robot come back out with it. It was
The
so
dream is
cute.
real. And
Yeah.
you did mention this was in Japan, right? Did I miss that?
No, this is in Las Vegas. It's
Oh, look at me just
Whoa.
profiling.
It's in.
I was like,
Wait
this
a
has to be
second.
in
God, I
Japan.
wish. There's so many robots in Japan that are things, though.
Right.
I do not blame you for that.
No,
There
it's
were
not-
tons of them.
See, Joe, you thought I wasn't in Las Vegas, but I was that entire time.
You were dessert robot.
Brian was a
He
dessert
took off
robot.
his human skin.
Right?
It's
Yeah,
where
if
he
you want to
works.
see a real dessert robot, I think it's in the Venetian. Yeah, the one with the watery stuff. It's in the Venetian. It's called the
Bellagio?
X-Pot.
That's cute.
Not a
Maybe
Venetian.
that's the
They actually
I
do
don't
have
know.
the.
I'm
they
not
actually
gonna-
have like
Oh,
the
the
little.
gondolas.
Yeah, the gondolas and
When
stuff.
Okay.
Dragons take over Vegas, we'll have our
Yes.
special episode there.
Yes, tasting it
Ooh.
to the streets in Vegas.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Take-
a promise.
That's a tasting it to the strip.
Ooh.
Mall.
Yeah, no, the old strip and
Las
the
Vegas
new strip.
strip.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I went to both. It was awesome.
I think we're going to have to workshop that because that can mean a lot of different things.
In Vegas. It can mean a lot of things.
Oh, my mind just put together what Brian said. Moving on.
So that'll bring it to the end of our new segment.
All right.
And unfortunately, that also means it'll bring it to the end of our episode.
Here we are. Put it in park.
To continue the conversation, you can always follow us online. Check us out on Twitter for indie game updates, on Instagram for updates and silly images, on Discord for daily discussions, and on Twitch for live gaming and chatting throughout the week. We are at Taste of Dragons everywhere, and we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, Amanda. And also, final reminder, Amanda and I will be on the I Forgot I Own That podcast with Bianca and Trent. Super cool peeps. We talk about 4 different games, do a nice little deep dive on them, and just have a good old time. So make sure to check out I Forgot I Own That pod on Instagram, on Twitter. They're also on twitch.tv/ I forgot I own that pod. Check them out. They are awesome. October 25th is when we'll do our episode. So,
spoiler alert, we talk a lot about potatoes.
oh my gosh, so many potatoes.
Did you guys have to bring the goodest thing of the week?
We did.
We did.
This is so exciting.
4 goodest best things of the week.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
And then we're also going to be on Still Loading Podcast's 200th episode. And I think it's going to be releasing pretty soon. So
We do a
stay
lot
tuned
of
with
impersonations on that.
We do.
Some better than others.
Some better than others.
Amanda, you nailed it.
Do we
nailed
talk
it.
about potatoes?
No,
no,
that is a
no.
different podcast. you got to listen to them all to get the full picture.
That's for the
got, like, a
Ides
little
of Starch
community,
podcast.
Super grateful for this pod community we get to be a part of.
We love them.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. But that's going to bring it to the end. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, and until next time, my name's Hassel.
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
the
Taste of Dragons.
Have a good week, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
I did
Take
it.
care.
I did the Brian, guys.
You did?
Hey.
It was good, right?
It was
sounded
really
just
good.
like
It was really
Brian.
good. Just like
Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast, a podcast for everyone's taste.